All right, it's Monday morning. We're on the work site. We just got a big delivery of concrete bags here, some wire mesh. We won't use that for this project, but just figured while they were delivering it, might as well throw it in. So yeah, we're set. Now this was ironic. So I ordered 65 bags. So the pallet's 63. Check this out. So about 5 minutes later, another guy came in a separate vehicle and dropped that down. So that's pretty funny, actually. Can't believe they couldn't put it on top of his pallet. So we got all our rock filled in here. This is all shored up. This is one of those examples of you do something once, you start to get better at it. So we found this random thin wood here, which is okay. We got plenty of stakes here. But here we went to almost like 1-inch wood, and we started working on our next corner. I thought maybe I would run out of rock sooner, but we're actually pretty good. So we're gonna rock and roll, and I think we're gonna maybe be able to do most of this side with our supplies. So that should be handy. And we did this much quicker than the other stuff. It was kind of a learning experience. But you know, better to have overkill than not. But yeah, this is gonna look really sharp. I know I was pretty brief the last time I said about this on the video, but here, I'll show you guys a little better the method behind this whole madness. So here you can see, for whatever reason, when these guys came in here, they thought it was acceptable. I don't know if this used to be like an old porch foundation or what, or the ground was just so much higher, but yeah, like there's just soil, and you could just dig right through to the basement there. So we're gonna try to shore that up from both sides. This is step one, and we're gonna get most of it. As you can see, our lines stretched out there. We're gonna have a pretty nice slope to get water out there. Right now we have a lot of problems with water kind of coming off the buildings, and you know, first of all, they didn't have any rain gutters or anything. So a lot of water would kind of soak in here, and that's why we dealt with a lot of the building sinking and stuff like that. So when this is all done, we're gonna grade everything and slope it this way and just get it out of there. Plus we'll be catching a lot with our rain gutter system anyways, but still, it's gonna be a lot better. So that's what this is all about. Again, we're gonna shore it up from the inside also. And if we have some rock, or soil rather, that we gotta cover up, we'll get that all figured out and shored up and everything. Who knows, maybe even part of this project. We'll see how it goes, but I'm sure we'll get some good bright ideas here. But yeah, they just, I don't know what they were doing here. They really skimped on this corner. The rest of the building's great, like it has a full basement, but this was like where the crawl space was and where they added on to drop this building here. Because again, the original building, it probably ended, well, obviously it ended like right about here. Now on the other side, they kept some existing foundation, so I'm not sure how this building was really laid out, but this was a bad spot, I guess, which says a lot, because I could find a couple more bad spots that they probably could have started over with. But anyways, they knocked this out. And that was the stuff that I was jackhammering from inside and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyways, all right, we're gonna get to finishing this up. We're gonna get a mud mixer on site. If you guys never saw a mud mixer in action, well, we didn't either, but it's gonna be fun. So I'm really happy to say that we still have plenty of stone left. I thought we were gonna be short because the first area that we filled up, it really took a lot of stone. So I'm happy to say we actually ended up going with the rest of the north side. I didn't think we would get this far today, so we'll be able to get more bang for our buck. And we'll have two sides of the building ready for the next phase. And this is my favorite part here. So this part comes up a little high, and we got out the laser level because we were on the shady side of the building. Check this out, we got it right perfect, right where we wanted it. So that's level, laser leveled all the way down. I mean, sure, boards have a little warp here or there to them and stuff, but for what's going to be visible, it's going to look awesome. And as you can see, we got a little creative with how we got that there, but now we got it filled up, so it's not really going anywhere. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. We got all this attached. It probably is stronger than it looks, but we'll be in good shape. And yeah, it's gonna get really exciting really quick. So we're gonna get ready to pour some concrete. So right now we're doing some preparation. My dad is spreading on some bonding agent. Quikrete makes this, and that'll allow it to just bond to the existing material a little bit, and it'll get real nice in those cracks and everything. So it's just going the extra mile. You know, we want to do it once and do it right. And here's the product. If anyone is interested in concrete work, it's pretty inexpensive for what it does. We used it already and it works really good. All right, getting my tools ready. The thing about this is once we start with this guy, we're committed, because it only takes a little over an hour to chew through a big pallet like this. And I don't even think we'll need all that. So once we're playing with concrete, we're in it. And I never used a mud mixer before, so as much as I'm excited, I'm kind of concerned too, because we only get one shot. And it's the next day. Everything went pretty good with the pouring and everything like that. I let it sit overnight, and here are the results so far. So last night I got it cleaned up. Things were looking pretty good. I did do one thing that was maybe a little silly, is I cleaned everything up on top, and then I came in with like a curve tool to make like the edge there. And I think I was a little late to the game because it was starting to get a little dry at that point. So now it kind of just threw debris kind of everywhere. So once I remove the forms in a day or two, I'll clean that up a little better. I have a tool that I think I can accomplish that with. But this is going to eventually tie into a new concrete sidewalk around the building. So I think when I do that project down the line, I'll be able to clean it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this is my second concrete job like ever. So I'd say it looks pretty good in comparison to like the old stuff from late 1800s. You know, that's looking a little rough. So what I'm really concerned about, even more than look, because this is going to get covered up, is there's a nice seal here. And that's really going to help keep, you know, bugs out of there and water and things like that. And of course the 5 inches of insulation and then the top that we put on top of that, that'll also be a great protection as well. So is it overkill? Maybe to some, but you know, again, we want to do this the right way, even though we're still learning. You know, made some mistakes there maybe, but hey, I can do it better next time. That's the key. That's how we all learn. But I'm, you know, that's just a minor thing. I'm really happy with that. And like I said, I'll be able to fill that in because I have like that bonding stuff that I showed you guys. That works really good. So I'll be able to bond a little bit when I'm doing my next job. And I'll just look as good as new. And yeah, the forms did really good. Even our little rig over there, that worked good. Now I'm going to apply this concrete cure and seal to it. So we'll be doing the curing process. So that involves using this sprayer. So it was supposed to rain today, but the storm got moved up big time and it rained last night. So we were able to cover it up around the building with tarps and sheets and anything we could find really quickly. It looks like we did a pretty good job because it didn't get drenched. It did get a little wet, but that's okay at this stage because everything looks good. Because of that, and it's starting to get colder, I'm going to leave the forms on probably another day or two just to make sure that everything's looking good. But again, I'm really happy with how it's looking. I mean, Victoria cut me a lot of grace. I'm like always hard on myself, but she said, this is like your second concrete job ever, and this was like the most aggressive one so far. So she's really happy with it. So in turn, I'm really happy with it too. I mean, it's going to get pretty much covered up anyways, so it's just a way to shore stuff up, as I said before. So yeah, so it turned out to be a pretty good job. I think we're in the last days of concrete work. I'd like to take care of one more project that's not as big, but we'll see if we can do that or if we'll just be waiting. We will see. Still got plenty of stone left, which was nice. On the bottom layers, it got packed down so much when he dropped it. So as I was starting to go towards the bottom, I was getting scared, but yeah, we still got plenty left. So 2 ton did the trick. I'd like to do in between the buildings, but I think that's going to end up waiting till next year because there's a lot of detail with the old bar room, future train shop to figure out, and we're just not going to have the time for it the way the weather is acting. There's going to be plenty to do indoors, so that's no problem. If it wants to get cold, I guess that's okay. All right, so everything's uncovered. I'm going to come back before sunset and cover it back up again just to give it a little blanket, as it's going to creep around 40 degrees tonight, and I see some 30s in the forecast, so definitely don't want any problems with that. So again, I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, then we'll cover it up before nighttime. So yesterday I worked on my spreadsheet, which kind of has like the roadmap to the completion of the building. There's all kinds of stuff here, but it's really nice. I really think I got an order locked in from now until winter, which pretty much should take us to the beginning of next year. So there's just little simple things like redoing the construction markings. That's like any important mark that might have faded that's on like the wall sheathing from the outside. We're removing the forms of the concrete that we poured today. I'm gonna do some grading just to kind of make sure that we don't have a negative slope. It's not really a permanent thing, just something to hold us over to the next season. And also gonna be distributing the 2B stone that we have left over. And I want to get rid of the foundation windows. Then after that, we're going to seal the foundation, and that's going to just be like a waterproofing membrane that we put on. In the meantime, we're going to be using something called Zip Liquid Flash. It comes like in a caulk gun, and we can cover up our nail holes, especially if they're looking kind of ugly. And we can do the same stuff around the windows before we install the windows. We're going to finish exterior penetrations. There's tons of them, but that's really important. So I'm thinking about hiring out for the vented soffit and aluminum flashing, just because it's kind of one of those things that takes a lot of skill to do it just right when you're bending metal and things like that. So I'm going to see how the quote looks. I know we could handle it, but it's just a matter of by the time we learn how to do it, we might have more money into it than just having the pros come and do it in like, a couple hours. We're going to get gutters and downspouts. There was a moment I thought about doing the gutters myself until I realized that they do seamless gutters. So I'm definitely sold on that. My dad had some done and they look awesome. So I think I'll be going that route too. And I have a meeting early next week with the HVAC company, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to see what kind of rough-in work they can do, just so it can hold us over so we can proceed on with our the next step, exterior insulation, and get the rain screen and also the siding nailers. We're going to need an extra layer. What some people do is rain screen is they have batten boards. We're going to do that for it to drain, but then we're going to do a cross section as well, and that'll allow our siding to go up and down. And then siding, we got some samples ordered for colors, so we'll see what that looks like. They look really easy to install, so I think we can tackle that. And then that'll lead us into winter, where we're going to focus on the basement. So all of that, I didn't really update that too much there, but essentially we're going to have our basement slab finished at that point. That's where a lot of the big money is. You know, concrete, it's not cheap. So we're thinking about around 20,000 for that project. So that'll be a big one, but we can spread it out throughout the whole winter for the most part. Just do it piece by piece. Whenever we're ready to do more, we'll do more. But then also in the meantime, we can work on the interior, which is what I'm really excited about because that's where a lot of my skills show. So it always pays to have a good plan. I think that's what we got here. Like I said, this is the most organized it's been because there were definitely times where I was ordering stuff kind of out of order, and this allows me to kind of just make sure I have all my ducks in a row, have everything ordered we need before we begin our work days. So that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this all playing out. So another work week is behind us. We saw a lot of progress made this week. We're getting into some beautiful fall weather, but that does make things challenging when it comes to exterior work. So we're hoping to keep wrapping up stuff as much as possible. And again, as I showed you guys that plan, I really want to be able to stick to that timeline. So it'll be interesting, but we have a good plan, and when you have a good plan, usually you can get good results. So we'll see what next week brings. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.